1. Dimethylmercury, C2H6H3. Let me tell you about one of the deadliest substances known to science, dimethylmercury. This isn't your everyday chemical. We're talking about a compound so dangerous that even legendary chemists fear it. Imagine a clear, seemingly innocent liquid that looks like water. But here's the terrifying part. If just a few drops of dimethylmercury land on your skin, you're facing a death sentence. And the scariest thing? You wouldn't even know you've been exposed until it's too late. What makes this chemical particularly nightmarish is how it sneaks past our body's defenses. It can penetrate through latex gloves and skin almost instantly, like a ghost passing through walls. No ordinary protective gear can stop it completely. But the real horror begins once it enters your body. This toxic molecule has a special ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, something our bodies evolved to keep harmful substances out of our brain. Once it's in, it causes devastating, irreversible brain damage. The tragic story of Karen Wetterhahn, a Dartmouth professor, stands as a chilling reminder. Despite taking safety precautions, a single drop through her gloved hand led to her death months later, shocking the scientific community and changing lab safety protocols forever. This is why dimethylmercury is considered one of chemistry's most dangerous substances. A silent, invisible killer that gives no second chances. Thorium nerve agent. In the dark world of chemical weapons, few substances strike as much fear as VX, a lethal nerve agent that's earned its reputation as one of humanity's deadliest creations. Originally developed in the 1950s, VX was not designed to heal or help. It was engineered for one purpose only, to be the perfect chemical weapon. The scientists who created it probably never imagined just how terrifying their invention would become. What makes VX particularly nightmarish is its devastating efficiency. Imagine something so potent that a single drop, no bigger than a pinhead, touching your skin is enough to end your life within minutes. It works by attacking your nervous system, paralyzing your muscles, and eventually stopping your ability to breathe. But here's what makes VX even more frightening. Once it's released, it doesn't just disappear. Unlike many other chemical agents, VX is incredibly persistent in the environment. It can stick around for days or even weeks, turning affected areas into deadly no-go zones. It's so horrific that it's been banned in warfare by international law. Yet despite these bans, the threat of VX remains very real, serving as a chilling reminder of why chemical weapons should never have a place in our world. 3. Polonium-210. Have you ever heard of a substance so deadly that a particle smaller than a grain of salt could kill you? Meet polonium-210, one of the most lethal radioactive elements known to science. This invisible killer emits alpha radiation that, while harmless outside your body, becomes catastrophically deadly if ingested. How deadly? Well, imagine this. Less than 1 microgram, an amount you couldn't even see with your naked eye, is enough to cause severe radiation poisoning. That's about 1 trillion times more toxic than hydrogen cyanide. Polonium-210 gained worldwide notoriety in 2006 when it was used to assassinate Alexander Litvinenko, a former Russian intelligence officer. He died an agonizing death after someone slipped this radioactive poison into his tea at a London hotel. The incident reads like a spy thriller, but it was frighteningly real. What makes this element particularly sinister is that it's nearly impossible to detect in time to save someone. By the time symptoms appear, the damage is usually irreversible. It's a chilling reminder of how the invisible world of radioactive elements can be both fascinating and terrifying. In the wrong hands, even the tiniest amount of this substance can become a weapon of devastating consequences. Or botulinum toxin, Botox extreme. Ever heard of Botox? You know that stuff celebrities use to stay looking young? Well, let me tell you about its darker side. Botulinum toxin isn't just any ordinary substance. It's actually the most lethal protein known to science. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Just 1 gram of this stuff has enough potency to kill over 1 million people. Let that sink in for a moment. That's more deadly than cyanide, more lethal than snake venom, and more powerful than any other natural toxin we've ever discovered. But here's the twist. This same deadly substance is what doctors use in tiny controlled amounts for medical treatments. From smoothing wrinkles to treating muscle spasms, migraines, and even excessive sweating. It's like playing with fire. In microscopic doses, it's a revolutionary medical tool, but one small mistake in measurement could be catastrophic. Isn't it fascinating how something so deadly can also be so useful when used correctly? It's nature's perfect example of the dose makes the poison. Just remember, next time you hear someone casually mention getting Botox, They're actually talking about controlled doses of one of the deadliest substances on Earth. Chlorine trifluoride, ClF3. Imagine a substance so violent, so terrifyingly reactive, that it makes regular fire look tame in comparison. That's chlorine trifluoride, or ClF3, possibly the most aggressive chemical known to science. This isn't your everyday hazardous material. We're talking about a substance that laughs in the face of fireproof materials. You know asbestos, that stuff we use to protect against fire? Well, ClF3 sets it ablaze like it's made of paper. Even sand, which we use to put out fires, becomes fuel for this chemical demon. But here's where it gets really wild. It can even burn through glass. Yes, you heard that right. The same material we trust to safely contain most dangerous chemicals gets destroyed by ClF3. It's like a chemical version of a horror movie monster that nothing can stop. During World War II, the military became intensely interested in ClF3. They saw its potential as a weapon, given its ability to spontaneously ignite almost anything it touches. Just imagine, a chemical that creates instant infernos without needing any ignition source. Thankfully, they eventually decided it was too dangerous and unpredictable even for warfare. In the world of dangerous chemicals, ClF3 stands alone as the ultimate touch it and regret it champion. It's a stark reminder that sometimes nature creates things that we humans simply shouldn't mess with. 6. Azidoazide azide, CUN14. Ever wondered what the most explosive chemical compound in the world is? Meet azidoazide azide, or C2N14, the bad boy of the chemical world that makes dynamite look like a party popper. This molecule is so unstable, it's basically having a constant tantrum. Imagine a substance so sensitive that it could explode if you just look at it funny. No, seriously. The slightest touch, a beam of light, or even a gentle breeze could set this thing off. What makes it truly fascinating is that it holds the title of most explosive chemical compound ever discovered. But here's the kicker. Scientists can't even study it properly because it's just too dangerous. When they do work with it, they have to handle amounts so tiny you'd need a microscope to see them. Think about that for a second. We've created something so powerful that we can barely even research it. It's like having a pet dragon that's constantly on the verge of sneezing fireballs. One wrong move and boom. It's a perfect example of how sometimes in science, we create things that push the boundaries of what we can actually control. Just remember, if you ever hear a chemist say azidoazide, you better start running, though chances are you won't get very far.
Enjoying the video, correct? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Please leave your feedback, hit like, share the content.
7. Dioxins. Have you ever heard of dioxins? These invisible killers are lurking in our environment, and they're among the most dangerous pollutants ever created by human activity. But what exactly makes them so terrifying? Picture this. Every time a factory releases industrial waste or someone burns plastic waste, invisible particles of dioxins are released into our air, soil, and water. They're like silent assassins, spreading through our environment without us even knowing. What's truly scary about dioxins is their devastating impact on human health. These toxic compounds don't just make you sick, they can trigger cancer, cause severe birth defects in unborn babies, and slowly destroy your immune system, leaving you vulnerable to countless diseases. The worst part? Once dioxins enter our environment, they stick around for decades. They can accumulate in the food chain, building up in fatty tissues of animals and eventually making their way to our dinner plates. They're so persistent that scientists have found them in remote Arctic regions, thousands of miles from any industrial source. This is why we need to take action. By reducing plastic burning, supporting stricter industrial regulations, and being aware of this invisible threat, we can help protect ourselves and future generations from these devastating toxins. Ricin, have you ever wondered what's considered one of the deadliest natural poisons on Earth? Let me tell you about ricin, a terrifying toxin that's been making headlines for decades. Hidden within the innocent-looking castor beans, this natural killer has earned its reputation as one of nature's most lethal weapons. What makes ricin particularly frightening is its incredible potency. Imagine this, an amount smaller than a few grains of salt, or just a few milligrams, contains enough poison to kill an adult human. That's right, something so tiny could be fatally devastating. But here's the truly scary part. Once ricin enters your body, there's no going back. Unlike many other poisons, there's no antidote. Scientists have discovered that it works by essentially telling your cells to stop producing proteins. It's like hitting the off switch on your body's essential factory of life. The way ricin attacks your body is almost like a perfectly engineered saboteur, systematically shutting down your cells one by one. Within hours, vital organs begin to fail, and without immediate medical attention, the effects can be catastrophic. It's a chilling reminder of how something found in nature can be so deadly, yet appear so harmless at first glance. This is why ricin remains one of the most closely monitored substances in the world. 9. Batrachotoxin. Ever heard of the deadliest natural poison on Earth? Meet batrachotoxin, a terrifying toxin that makes cyanide look like candy. This microscopic killer comes from one of the most unassuming sources: tiny, colorful poison dart frogs hopping through the rainforests of South America. But don't let their beautiful appearance fool you. These little frogs pack a punch that's literally 250 times more potent than cyanide. To put that in perspective, an amount smaller than a grain of salt could take down a fully grown elephant. That's right. We're talking about a substance so potent that you'd need a microscope to see a lethal dose. Here's the scary part. Batrachotoxin is like a biological off switch for your body. It works by permanently blocking the signals between your nerves and muscles. Imagine your body slowly shutting down, muscle by muscle, until even breathing becomes impossible. It's a silent, unstoppable cascade that leads to complete paralysis and death. Indigenous tribes have known about this poison for centuries, carefully extracting it from these frogs to create their legendary poison darts. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the deadliest weapons in nature come in the smallest, most colorful packages. 10. Fluoroantimonic acid. Picture the most dangerous acid you can imagine. Now multiply that by 1,000,000,000. That's fluoroantimonic acid, the undisputed champion of corrosive chemicals and the strongest superacid known to science. This isn't your everyday laboratory acid. We're talking about a substance so incredibly powerful that it's more than 10 quadrillion times stronger than sulfuric acid. Let that sink in for a moment. While sulfuric acid is already scary enough, fluoroantimonic acid makes it look like lemon juice in comparison. Want to know just how terrifying this stuff is? It doesn't just eat through materials, it obliterates them. Drop it on glass, gone in an instant. Metal, dissolved faster than sugar in hot coffee. And human tissue? Well, let's just say you really don't want to find out. The scariest part? This acid is so aggressive that it can't even be stored in normal lab containers. It literally destroys almost any material it touches. Scientists have to keep it in specially designed containers made from Teflon, one of the few materials that can withstand its incredible corrosive power. So next time someone mentions a strong acid, remember there's nothing on Earth that comes close to the sheer destructive force of fluoroantimonic acid, the king of all superacids, and probably the most dangerous chemical you'll never want to meet. Disclaimer: many of these chemicals are either tightly controlled, banned, or restricted due to how dangerous they are. They should never be handled without extreme training, equipment, and necessity.